By the way, you know what's crazy? You say that Dak had a great game last night, and it's against the Raiders. You tell me that Jalen Stiff Arm Hurts has a great arm against the Giants, and you're like, wow, did you see what he did against the – dude, he shredded that team last night. We should do a show on my pregame show. This is what we should do here. What goes on behind the scenes? That's actually a great idea. Good afternoon to you guys. And button up. This is Big Sills here. Appreciate you coming aboard. Please hit the like button, super chats. Go to the top. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think we should have a show on the pregame show before we go on the air. All right. Man, I want you guys to do me a favor. Close your eyes for a second and just dream of a quarterback that could throw the ball like Dak Prescott last night. Holy cow. Even Vic Fangio said it today. The guy's having an amazing year. What an amazing year, and that guy makes that offense roll. So before all you tool boxes start talking shit on Dak, and by the way, we're not in the postseason. We are here on November 18th in the regular season. So that conversation is stupid. This guy was great last night. 4 touchdowns. By the way, you know what's crazy? You say that Dak had a great game last night, and it's against the Raiders. You tell me that Jalen Stiff Arm Hurts has a great arm against the Giants, and you're like, wow, did you see what he did against the – dude, he shredded that team last night. And by the way, I think Quinnen Williams and some of the other additions like Overshawn, I think that's going to make that season for them a little bit more interesting. Now, do I think they're a playoff team? Absolutely not. But sitting at 4-5-1, I don't know. I think they're getting better. The Cowboys are getting better. They're not one of those elite teams in the NFC right now. By the way, my top 10 teams and my top 10 quarterbacks, we will have that for you here. By the way, Coach will be on with us today. Coach Jason Brown will join us at 3:30, and Angelo Cataldi, as promised, will be with us. That'll be at 4:30. Xander will close us up. That'll be at 5 o'clock. Do me a favor, guys. Please hit the like button. I mean, listen, I think it's going to be an interesting game this weekend between the Cowboys and the Eagles without Lane Johnson, and most likely without Cam Jurgens as well. Anytime you lose talent like that, you're not as good. Don't give a shit who you are. You're not as good. You lose a starter and you got a backup in, you're not as good. And for me, how are you going to get your run game going with no Lane Johnson and with no Cam Jurgens? How are you going to go into the rest of the season saying your offense is going to click when potentially you've lost Lane Johnson for the year? I mean, how in the world are you going to go there with that? We're also going to talk about the reports that have come out this week about Jalen Hurts and his comments towards the coaching staff. We're going to do that. First and foremost, here's my takeaway on Lane Johnson. Lane Johnson not being in the starting lineup for the rest of the regular season, that's going to make the Eagles climb to the top of the mountain even harder. You can't lose a guy like that and think you're going to be normal. How? That's one of your signature players. That's one of your top 5 players on your team. Now, again, end of the day, next man up, war of attrition. This is what we talk about all the time, is the war of attrition. Okay? Absolutely true. Okay. So I think it affects the team a lot. I think potentially it's going to hurt you in potentially dropping. Okay? A football game that you most likely will need. Sills, this is my take on Hurts. You think the turnstile with coordinators and shitty decisions has halted his development? Absolutely. They're not hiring coaches to help Jalen Hurts. You know why? Because Jalen Hurts can't be helped. Guys, I've been saying it since day one. Jalen Hurts is not a very good NFL quarterback. He's just not. He's got really great players around him. By the way, if he was at Alabama right now, he'd be benched. Because they would get a guy in there that could throw the ball to open receivers and utilize the talent in the huddle. They bench him again. The difference is that they've got 3 or 4 first-round quarterbacks sitting at Alabama right now. You don't have that in Philly. If you had a better quarterback in Philly, you'd put him in. I've said it before to you. He's a terrible – dude, when you watch Dak last night and you watch Hurts, it's night and day. Jalen Hurts is a terrible pocket passing quarterback. There's no excuses for that offense to be as shitty as it is. And these reports, in my opinion, this has everything to do with the coaches pointing out the obvious. You know what that is? Hurts is limited. Jalen doesn't like to hear it. And that's why he does things his way and not their way, because he can't. Folks, the coaching staff is telling you they're wide open people. He can't hit them. He can't hit them. You guys are delusional if you think that that quarterback is in the same breath as Dak Prescott. And you know what? Guys like Philly 500 are going to go like this. Well, he wins more. He's in a better situation. There's no question. He is in a better situation. He's on a better football team. There's no getting around that. If Hurts was in Dallas, he'd be Justin Fields. He's not a very good quarterback. I've been saying that since day one when I came in here. I think he's limited. I think he's got a great work ethic. I think he wants to be great. I think he's found some magic in not turning the football over. But at the end of the day, when it comes to skill set, he's one of the least talented quarterbacks in the league. That's a quarterback that's in the conversation when it comes to having a contending football team. Of all the quarterbacks, he's the least talented. He's just the least talented guy. Here's Frederick. So who replaces him? You're not replacing that. You got a formula right now. Shitty offense, play lights out defense, somewhat run the football. You did run the football for 148. That wasn't terrible. So you kind of move the sticks enough, make some third down plays, let the other team turn the ball over and win ball games. That's how you're doing it. Okay? Guys, shitty. Here, let's go who they are right now. I'm going to show you something here, and I'm going to give you a little bit of insight. I'm going to do this. Guys, do me a favor. Hit the like button here. So, here's the Eagles here. Here's the Eagles and who they are after 10 ball games. Okay? This is what they're trending on right now. By the way, I think the defense is trending in a sensational pattern. Let's start out with the defense, and I'll give you my takeaways and where I think you are. Right now, the defense is 17th total, where I thought you'd be. Are you playing the 17th ranked defense in the NFL right now? Not just last week. I thought you played top 5 football, which leads me to believe you're going to continue to get better and better and better and better, as long as you don't sustain any injuries. Passing, they're getting better. The 15th, you're in the middle of the room. That's not awful. 15th, anything under 15th is bad. As long as you're in the middle of the league, you're average. Okay? And with the blowtorch defense you had at the beginning of the year, 15th is not bad. Run defense, you're 19th. That's because the early part of the year, Carter wasn't in shape. Carter has come on as of late. And I think that run defense is starting to look a hell of a lot better, especially over the last month. You're getting better. Scoring, this is where you're kings. You're 8th. All the rest of those other numbers are trending up. I mean, in a good rating. They're trending up. You're trending up. And as long as you keep that number in the top 10 in scoring, your defense is showing signs of great progress. Hey, let's be candid. All the rest of those trends are meaningless if you're giving a shitload of points up. And right now, you're not giving a shitload of points up, especially to some pretty good offenses, especially what you did last week to the Packers and the Lions. Carter's playing better. He's coming on as of late. Oh, and by the way, hey, Vic, I know you watch the show because Clint does. I told you on Friday, hey, Xander, remember I told you on Friday that Clint Hurt told the guys, hey, my friend that was in here yesterday, remember on Friday I said Clint Hurt told these guys because golf has a tendency to throw the ball across the middle of the field, that Clint Hurt implemented a ball drill by getting hands up to make sure you got your hands up this weekend? Vic pointed that out today, that Clint Hurt installed that. So we pointed that out on Friday because he asked me one question. What would I do in that ball game too? And I said the previous week, I go, let me tell you something, man. The one thing about golf, he doesn't have a high arching release. I'd get my guys to get their hands up in the middle of the field. So it is a little bit more difficult for them to be able to see the middle of the field. And sure enough, they got a bunch of tip drills. And I kept saying, remember I told you on Friday, he implemented a drill. That just shows you that he and I talk. We pointed that out to you on Friday. That Clint said to, I go, Clint, he goes, we put it in. And sure enough, that was a coaching point. And even Vic goes, I didn't put that in. Clint Hurt put that in. Okay? Get this. Guys, did I say that on Friday? That Clint Hurt and I were talking about getting your hands up against golf? Anybody, if you guys say I didn't say it, sure, okay. We said that on Friday. Gabe, remember me saying that? There's just people who don't want to hear the truth. Okay? I think we may be on the edge of the best defense in 20 years in Philadelphia. We can't waste it. Go get Herbert, Burrow, or even Mac Jones, Josh Allen. Right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Hey, man. Thank you very much. Get this. Everyone else says I did, but just a few thickhead Eagle fans don't want to admit it. A big Sills. We said it on Friday. Clint told the guys to get their hands up. And they did. And it was a great coaching point. You're third in red zone, which is great. You are 20th on third down. You've come up 7 spots. Okay? 7 spots, which is great. Now, that's the good. Here, do I think you're the 17th ranked defense right now? Nope. I think you're somewhere near top 10. I think you're near the top 10. All good, my friend. It's all good. I think you're near 10. Now let's get to the offense. Total offense, you're 25th. Passing. You're the 3rd worst passing football team in the National Football League. Any excuses? I'll say it again. You're the third worst passing football team in the National Football League. What's your excuses? A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert. Let me add that up for a minute. 32, 25, that's 57, 12 for Goddard, that's 9, that's 69. Put the quarterback in there. That's $150 million. $150 million for the 28th ranked passing offense. $150 million of a $279 million payroll. Can you explain it? 150 between your passing, tight end, receivers, and the quarterback. I didn't even put Barkley in there. Okay? How is this bad like this? Running. You're 17th. Hey, Sills, how long does Nick get a pass for shitty coaching? I've never given him a pass. By the way, Coach Brown and Angelo Cataldi and then Xander, I've never given him a pass. I think he's a fraud as a coach. I've never said that coach was a good coach. I've never said that. I've never said that guy's a good coach. Well, look at his win percentage. They're fucking carrying that guy. You're 19th in rushing. So now you add Barkley to that. That's $170 million to have the 17th best running attack in football. Between all of those great guys, you're spending $20 million on a running back that's shot. Scoring, you're 16th. Red zone, you're first. Thank God. And you went down. You're the third worst 3-and-out football team in the NFL. If this guy's so fucking good of an offensive guy, why is this football team struggling like this? You're one of the worst offensive football teams in pro football. I mean, there's nothing redeeming about your offense. The defense, those numbers are lying. What is the reason? Okay? See you later, dude. Get the fuck out. What's the reasoning? Seals, any way we could get any information on what the fuck is going on with the team right now and hearing reports on Jalen, it's a slap in the face to fans to keep playing these games week in and week out. Thanks in advance. Marsh, it's because the Philadelphia Eagles and Bob Lang don't tell the local people anything. They only tell the national guys. Marsh, I've been telling you from day one. They're not going to tell you anything. And the things that you and me talk about here, Hoss, the things that you and me talk about here, aren't allowed. Did you hear WIP glaze festing the Nick Sirianni and the organization today? It was so fucking obnoxious. I mean, it's a knee-dragging. My aunt watches the show, so I don't want to go overboard. But, dude, it is a knee-dragging city now in sports talk. Get this. Here's something here. Thanks, Marsh. Same shit every day. Trash the Eagles for 4 hours a day. No, I don't go over the same shit every day unless the same shit every day is coming out of NovaCare. I couldn't tell you what I talked about yesterday. Sorry, dude. Every fucking day it's a different story with your team. And here's the thing. You're playing the Cowboys. You lose Lane. My question is, hey, bro, here's another one. Get the fuck out. This is not a military where you are inducted into the military. Get the fuck out. This is not, you too, Spike. Get the fuck out. Sorry there, Stefan. You don't want to talk about what's going on with your team? Get out. See this guy here? I'm telling you over 10 days, 10 games, who you are. Listen, from now on, here's what we're going to do. All of these glazed donut Eagle fans, you'll be paying for my attention from now on. Do you think it's possible to trade Hurts June 1? Absolutely not. Not with that winning record. Not happening. Hard Knocks in December going to be wild with the... No, it's not. Bro, you're going to get propaganda coming out. You're going to see glazed donut shit. You're not going to see anything negative. Hey, fanboys are not allowed in this show. From now on, we've got a little bit, okay? We've got a little bit of a new trend here. Fanboys, we don't go to. One of the best parts of the show is when snowflakes come in and realize this isn't a fan channel. It's plenty of people who watch the kiss ass and it's not here. Thank you for the supers, guys, and I appreciate each and every single one of you that likes true sports talk instead of suck-ass sports talk. Let's glaze donuts something and sit around and talk to people on how great shit is every day. You got the wrong fucking show, bro. Why do you think people are afraid of me? Why? This show should be called the No Filter Show. There's no filter here, even for you guys. You guys have, get this, even when I say get the fuck out, you have every right to stay here. Every right. And I don't block you. I don't block anybody. I swear to God. So what up, my boy? Fuck these fanboy feelings. Listen, I don't want this ever to get to a point where you guys think you all disagree with me. I love that. That's what this show's about. It's the last place for true sports talk. It is. Sileo, you're so full of shit. Your eyes are brown. I love that. Let me know, Sills. How you doing? Let them know, Big Sills. Thank you, brother. Bro, let me say this again to you. This is the last place. All right? Okay? This is the last place in Philly. All of you get a chance to talk. You glazed donut turds, stop interrupting the show. Sills' real fans want answers. Going through this drama daily is getting exhausting, and we can't get no answers anywhere but here. Marsh. And let me tell you something, folks. Marsh is also one of these guys that thinks for himself. You know what I love about Big Marsh? Marsh, and I'll even say this, Marcus. You guys have shows inside the show. That's the culture of what this is. This is shows inside the show because you guys talk to one another and we all talk back and forth. I love it. Hey, dude, I love the Tampa show. I kind of do. I look forward to this every day because it's the last place. I found out, too, I can't swear on the radio like I do here. And I'm like, man, that's a guardrail there. No bitch asses allowed. And that, hey guys, and you know what Flexen will tell me in about 2 takes from now? Your list on Hurts is fucking stupid. And I'll go, great. All right, enough of this. I'm out. Where you going? Bill Cunnilingus? I mean, go. I'm sure he'll glaze donut Hurts all for 4 hours. By the way, have you noticed one thing they did on 97.5? They made sure Bill had 2 to 6. Gee, I wonder why. They've never had a shift 2 to 6. Do you ever notice why? I don't blame them. Sills, you know the chick that's terrible at everything? That's the Eagles offense. Hey, Xander, I think I missed the Super, the last one here before Kyle. Thank you, Kyle. Yeah, man. Hey, Sills, with how bad the passing and even with Hurts' limitations, would KP bring up nonsense and scapegoat Hurts to avoid our incompetent coaching? I don't think he's in a position for that, my friend. I really don't. Okay? It shows the best, Sills. It's the best because of us. I'm not kidding. You know, I've done my shows like this, and program directors hate my show. Because you know why? It's too harsh. It's too direct. How many times has Xander said this? Somebody could say the same thing Sileo says, but the way Sileo says it is different. I thought people in Philly were direct. Or is it too direct for you guys? Let me know. Because I could soften it up for Philly too. I thought you had a pair, but hey, if it's too tough, I can do that too. Just let me know. Because I don't want to be a little too rough to people here because, you know, right? We'll talk about Fangio. Oh, by the way, so let me finish up with the offense here. Glazed donuts. That's what we got. That's what you got. You got a ton of glazed donuts in Phillies, man. You really do. How come he's talking bad about us again? How come the guy? Because your offense blows. Here's your offense. You're 28th in third down. You're 28th at passing. You're 17th in rushing. And you're 25th in total offense after 10 weeks of football. Explain that. Dude, the defense is getting better. They're not the 17th ranked defense. They feel, get this, they feel like the 10th ranked defense. Some would say, and if you felt Sills, I think they feel like the top 5 defense. I wouldn't have a problem with that. I wouldn't have a problem with that. I would not. Holy cow, look at Sue here. Sills never changed. Ignore the hate. 30 years. Over 30 years, Sue, I've been doing that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me give you my opinion on Jalen Hurts right now in the comments. That D gun and his stuff is really getting a lot of play here. Is it possible? Now, I want to quantify this by saying this is a theory. I don't know this. So I'm going to throw this out at you. Okay? All right. Is it possible that the coaching staff and the organization want to get it out there? Because somebody told Derek Gunn this. And if Derek Gunn's allowed back in that facility, somebody in the organization told him this. You tell me. The coaches are pointing out his limitations. Hurts doesn't want to do anything about him because they're winning with this style of shitty offense. The coaches know he has limitations. The receivers know he has limitations. Everybody knows it. And the only people that are really in line with one another are Nick and Jalen Hurts. Not even the coordinator, because he's kind of caught in the middle here. Okay? Here, let me go here to this guy. Seals, let's be real. You've been hating on Hurts. I think we have to quantify that, though. Hating on Jalen Hurts? I don't know Jalen Hurts from a fucking can of paint, guy. Hating that all of you guys think he's a top 5 quarterback is fucking nauseating. He's limited as a player, man. He's not a very talented quarterback in today's NFL. He's just not. He's on a very good football team. He's a limited quarterback on a great football team. And that's who he is. He's a limited guy with limited skill set on a great football team. And as M. Reyes would say, on a first place 8-2 team. Of course they're not going to change out the shitty quarterback. He's a steal, man. There's not a chance in hell they'll extend that guy. Not a chance. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith will never fulfill what their really great destiny would be when it comes to having personal accolades. And personal accolades will have to suffer on this team because nobody's really going to get it unless it's a running back. No wide receiver in their right mind would ever want to come here and play. AJ's making it very clear to other wide receivers around the league, you'll never want to come here and play. If you're worried about your numbers in today's NFL, AJ has made it very clear for other wide receivers on a week-to-week basis, this is not the place for you. Has he not? One of the top wide receivers in all of pro football goes on a tangent every single week, goes on podcasts every single week, and says that this is not the place for you. If you're Jamar Chase or you're any of these other guys, you don't want to come and play here. And remember something. I see people posting Super Bowls. Wide receivers don't give a shit about Super Bowls. That's why all the highest paid guys in the NFL don't have them. Randy Moss and T.O. don't. Sills, what do you think about Nakobe Dean? I'm very impressed with him. He's been really showing out. I know Nakobe wasn't healthy week 1, but I do think that Howie fucked up with Campbell. No. Campbell's not fucked up. That's not a bad draft. That's not a bad draft pick. Hey, Xander, I missed Big Marsh's super chat there. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit that like button. Thank you, Marsh. They're trying to Carson Wentz. Jalen, they're laying the groundwork. Yes. By the way, Marsh, I will say this to you about Jalen. If you went back to RPO in 22, Jalen Hurts, and you used him like that, you'd get more out of the offensive players around him. I completely believe that. When he runs, I think the offense opens up more. When he doesn't run, I think it becomes even more limited. Why in the world would you take one of the assets and strengths away from Jalen Hurts? The ability to move the sticks with his legs, to sit there and think that he's a pocket passer. Or maybe he's pulling a Donovan McNabb on you guys, and he doesn't want to run anymore. Don't ever change who you are, Big Sills, from a Cowboy fan. Thank you so much, Mike. That really means a lot. You had a great night last night, honor and kneeling. I thought that was a super night last night. Finally, some smiling faces in Dallas last night with a win, and that was pretty cool, honoring the kid. It was a great moment. It was a great moment honoring a fallen NFL alumni guy. And Marshawn Kneeland, I thought that was a great moment for the Dallas Cowboys and their fans. A lot of smiles, a lot of people very happy in a tragic situation. I thought that was awesome last night. John was wrong. Hurts isn't Wentz without the religion. Hurts is Wentz without the arm. Carson Wentz is by far a better passer than Jalen Hurts will ever be. McNabb is better than Hurts will ever be as a skill set player. There's no doubt. Hurts as a skill set is maybe one of the worst quarterbacks they have had in the last 25 years. There's no around it. You can't explain these trends. You just can't explain it. Okay? Watch this. I'll show you how bad this is. Hurts, McNabb, okay? Brandon. Thank you very much, Brandon. Says, who gets a new contract first, Davis or Carter? Carter. Carter's the better player. Davis is having a really good year. I will concede. Watching the tape on him, McNabb is a choker. Jalen's a winner. No, Jalen has more talent around him. McNabb was arrogant, and his arrogance got the best of him. That's the problem with McNabb. McNabb was never a great team leader. McNabb was arrogant. Arrogance ended up causing McNabb a couple things. He stopped running as a quarterback, and he thought the show was all about him. Unfortunately, it wasn't. Wasn't a very good leader. McNabb is 10 times the athlete and 10 times the quarterback Jalen Hurts will ever be. McNabb did so much more with so much less. Absolutely. There's not one quarterback in the history of the Eagles have ever had more talent around him than Jalen Hurts. And if they don't win multiple Super Bowls, it'll be one of the most disappointing eras of all time. You thought the Andy Reid era was disappointing when you had all those NFC championship games? All those appearances you knew didn't win, you wait till you not win a couple more of these. And if you don't get back to the game and win them, you'll think you're the Atlanta Braves. McNabb was able to do more with less. Jalen wouldn't be able to do. Jalen Hurts, if he had those McNabb teams, not happening. Not happening. Now, I do think Jalen would have handled Terrell Owens better. I do think that. And I think there would have been a couple more years with Jalen Hurts and T.O. than with McNabb and T.O. I think there would have been, the organization would have probably tolerated it better because Hurts would have tolerated it better. Okay? Chiefs are 5-5, have the most elite quarterback and better coaches. Eagles have the worst coaches and the 30th ranked passing game, and they're 8-2. Yeah, well, what's happened with the Chiefs, they've had 7-8 years of continued success. They've been to the AFC Championship game 7 years in a row. They've been to 5 Super Bowls in that time frame, and they've won 3 Super Bowls in that time frame. And right now, it needs to be retooled talent-wise around them. Hey, organizations don't last 20 years like New England did. They need better talent around Mahomes right now. As he gets older, like Brady needed when he got to Tampa, he needs better talent around him. He's not going to be able to elevate guys like Juju Smith-Schuster any longer. No, I don't know. How can the era be over? I don't believe that, senor, because there were gaps between Brady's dynasty. He won a lot of Super Bowls in the beginning. Then he had a 10-year gap, and then they started winning Super Bowls again. They need more talent around him. They need to upgrade the talent. I love you, Sills, but McNabb ain't better than Hurts. You're missing the point. As a skill set guy, he throws the ball better. He's better in the pocket. He's got a better pocket presence, and he can throw the ball around to multiple receivers. Hurts can do none of that. None of that. Dude, there's no excuse why your offense blows. Well, wait a minute. We got some injuries in the O-line. Nobody says that shit about Allen up in Buffalo when a guy gets hurt and both his wide receivers were missing this weekend, and he had 6 fucking touchdowns. I mean, nobody says that about him. Nobody goes, hey, your OT's out. They don't care. Go win a game. And Allen has to win a game. Allen has nobody to lean on. You can't lean on the defense in Buffalo. They're 20th. Their defense is 20th in Buffalo. They're not leaning on anything. Sills, we're going to have a stretch of games against bad defense. Maybe we get the momentum. Okay, I believe in momentum, Curtis. I think the Buccaneers have no momentum going into that Rams game on Sunday night. I think they're going to get waxed. I do not believe they have any momentum. They're going to get waxed heading into that game. Sills, Tim Duncan didn't have more skill than a bunch of players, but he was better. Like who? Than Shaq? Because he won 5 titles and Shaq won 4? You think that Duncan was a better player than Shaq? I don't. I mean, really? I mean, so let me get this right, because he won 5 and Shaq won 4. He's better, right, than Shaq. What a dumb take. Not worried about bad teams. No, you should be worried about Santa Clara. Hurts got benched in college. Hey, let me ask you something. You know why Hurts got benched in college? Because they had an adequate backup. You don't have an adequate backup. And there's $50 million. Your offense is fucking shit. My takes are dumb because your offense is dumb. And yeah, I'm sure every single offensive mind the Eagles have brought in don't know how to run an offense. How about this? You guys keep blaming people you're bringing in. This guy doesn't know this. This guy doesn't know that. What's the one common denominator? The shitty arm quarterback. Get this. Still talking about Bama days. Any way to reach a negative? Because it started there. The same shit you talked about Hurts at Bama, you talk about it today in Philly. Context? You ever hear of it? Try it. That's how you have a topic. And that's how you have a sports talk show. Context, guy. A beginning and a present. You might want to think about it, or you can go to one of those suck-ass shows you listen to in Philly every day. If Hurts is not running for 5 to 6 first downs a game, he holds the team back. I love that take, and I agree with that take. I completely agree with that. Don't compare Tim Duncan to a guy who won't make the Hall of Fame. Compare Hurts to John Paxton. Oh. John Paxton. Holy cow. Or how about Microwave? No, Microwave was a good player with Detroit. Yeah, no. Who would you compare him to? Let me guess. Danny Ainge? Danny Ainge. No, I got one. Ben Johnson. No, wait a minute. Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons? No, I can't go there. He's not Ben Simmons. Is it the quarterback or is it the scheme? He's limited. How about this? It's both, Denny. Put the quarterback into the scheme that fits his skill set like he did in 22. I think you win multiple Super Bowls. You put him in this current one, you're going to have massive disappointment by the end of the year. You know the only float you're going to be on? The only float you're going to be on is an A&W float. Okay? You're going to be on the A&W float. Yeah, you're going to be on the fruitcake float. Yeah. What a shitty offense, man. Seals literally had Hurts top 5. I said Hurts has a top 5 resume of anybody in this league. You bet he does. No question. As a skill, he's bottom 5. You didn't listen. You half listen. You listen to what you want to hear. Play to the strengths of your team. Stop playing tic-tac-toe with the call sheet. Absolutely. Run the ball. Have the quarterback run. How many times do you watch Jalen Hurts when he takes off? He breaks defenses' backs with that. Nobody fears his shitty arm. I mean, really. Is it on coaches or the organization not using Hurts the best of his ability? And on Jalen not growing as a passer? Yeah, all of that is true. Hey, ask yourself this, Twiz. How many RPO quarterback coaches and coordinators have they hired? Anybody? Name me one RPO coach they hired. Name me one. Name me one guy they hired. One guy. Name me one guy they hired has an RPO background. Name me one guy. Shane? Okay. And look what he's doing with Daniel Jones. By the way, if Jalen Hurts was in Indianapolis, he'd fucking be the MVP of the league. Because Shane would use him right. Now, I don't think Jalen is as good a passer as Daniel, but I think that he's probably better all around. Right? I mean, he goes to Indy, he's the MVP. He stays in Philly in that offense. It's the third worst passing offense in pro football. How do you pay $200 million for the shittiest return I've ever seen in my entire life? By the way, I think that relationship between the head coach and the offensive coordinator and Hurts is pathetic right now. The receivers aren't on the same page. The offensive coaches aren't on the same page. This thing's a fucking train wreck. The only thing that's keeping this thing together is Vic Fangio and probably Jeff Stoutland. If you didn't have those two senior coaches in the building, this thing looks like it's being run by high school guys. I mean, use your eyeballs when you watch a game. Hey, you got the Dallas Cowboys this week. If Jalen Hurts doesn't throw for good yards in this game, I don't know what else to say. The Cowboys, I mean, like, what are they defensively? Okay, here. Let's make this. The Dallas Cowboys, defensively, the Eagles heading into this football game, isn't this the team to get everything right? So the Cowboys, in total defense, are 30th. They're fucking 30th. If you have a shitty performance against the Cowboys, what else is there to say? Oh, Cowboys play zone. Hurts has problems with zone? Well, then you're not a top flight NFL quarterback if you can't dissect zone defense. Hey, that's a new one. Wait a minute. Jalen Hurts struggles in a zone defense in the National Football League. Well, what are you doing being a starter then? He's terrible. Wow, what a caboose. Hurts is a high school quarterback. Hurts is in a high school quarterback system because he's limited. Go routes. How many times do you watch Seth Joyner tweet out, why are we fucking running slants and go routes? He knows he don't want to say it. Quarterback can't run a complex offense. Seals in the draft, where you have to take a quarterback in the first round. How many quarterbacks would have to be taken before you would draft Jalen? Shit. Going by skill set, 15. Let's not forget the defense won us a Super Bowl last year. Bro, your defense is just getting better and better. By the way, Clint Hurt, Bobby King stresses turnovers. Clint stresses getting your hands up. The job that Christian Parker is done with your secondary, the coaching on that side of the ball is night and day. Do we not agree? Think about this. Vic Fangio on the defensive side as the coordinator. Clint Hurt as the front seven. How do you think Clint's done with Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter? How do you think he's done? How do you think Bobby King, hey, by the way, how do you think Bobby King has done with your linebacking core since they hired him 2 years ago? You don't want to give Bobby King any love? How do you think Bobby King has done with your linebackers? How do you think he's done? How do you think Christian Parker's done with your secondary? With all those holes? It's the best defensive staff in pro football. Clint Hurt is a coordinator in waiting. Bobby King is a coordinator in waiting. Christian Parker is a coordinator in waiting. I will be stunned if you have any of those guys back next year. Every one of those guys should get coordinating job opportunities. They're fucking brilliant. And what Vic is so good at, he lets them coach. No, that wasn't me. And by the way, I love that. He, you know, you had the other couple years ago, you had Nick going, yeah, the tush push is my idea. You're a fucking liar. They were running that thing with Carson Wentz back here. When Wentz was running that quarterback sneak, they were doing that shit here with Wentz. You heard Vic today go, that wasn't me, that was Clint Hurt. He did that by making sure the guy got their hands up because golf likes to throw across the middle of the field. And I said that the following week to Clint. I go, this dude throws with a low trajectory on his arm. I'd get my hands up. And I even told you guys on Friday, keep an eye on this. Clint told those guys to get their hands up. Multiple passes deflected in that game on Sunday. Turned out to be a coaching point. Turned out to be a factor in the game. He texts me and he goes, Sills, man, right on, huh? I go, bro, fantastic, man. That's how you get a coordinating job. That's how you get a coordinating job in the NFL doing that shit. And then you turn around and you look. The coordinator is all over the place. The head coach makes decisions on fourth down, make your head scratch. The quarterback and the coordinator and the coach aren't on the same page. The receivers are bitching, and you got one of the worst offenses in pro football. And you got the third worst passing offense in the NFL. You don't need to explain it. Use your eyeballs. It's not that hard to see. But you see, what you have is you have people deny it. If I was a GM and wanted a coach, I would look at Michael Clay. I think Michael Clay. Absolutely, JD3. Get this. Now Sil's taking credit for the Eagles' success. That's not what I said. I talk to Clint Hurt on a weekly basis because I've known him since he was 18 years old. 18 years old. And we were talking about golf. He goes, got to get the hands up. I said, that'd be a great drill. He goes, yeah. We'll start doing that. It was him who mentioned it. By the way, I don't give a fuck what you think. Success credit. I'm sitting here doing a show. What success could I possibly offer? What an idiot. An idiotic take. You don't think Clint Hurt knows that watching game film? Of course he does. How stupid can you be? Taking credit. Sitting behind a mic for a team having success and batting down passes. What a dick. Do you agree that Hurts' legs were one of the biggest difference makers in a game? Yes, I do. He was able to escape pressure at times, and golf couldn't. There's no question about it. Absolutely no question. When he uses his legs, he breaks people's backs when he does that. Absolutely. I think this is a great conversation. And it's a tough conversation for some of you. I mean, look, Jalen's a gamer. I'm going to give you my November 18th, 2025 assessment of Hurts and how much has changed since 2021. So let me give you that now. He's clearly gotten better as a quarterback in the NFL with the limited skill that he came in the league with. He was awful bad, very bad passer, not very good in the pocket. When he came out of Oklahoma, he was, I don't know, I questioned the second round pick. Has he gotten better? He's gotten better as a passer. He's gotten better at thinking the game out, seeing the game. He sees the game, in my opinion, better than what Lamar does. I think he's smart. I don't really think he's got very good pocket presence. I think he gets flustered in the pocket. He rolls too much right. He plays to the numbers too much. He's afraid of throwing passes across the middle of the field still. He really hasn't developed. He's actually regressed from the 22 season because he's regressed because he has taken away the biggest asset he had, getting out in open space. If you guys remember something, what made Aaron Rodgers such a great player? Hey, Bob, will you tell the people what made Aaron Rodgers such a great player throughout his career and what has made him more limited now? Aaron Rodgers is more limited now. And why is that? Why is Aaron Rodgers a more limited player today than he was when he was in his MVP heydays? Okay? Rodgers could scramble. Extended plays outside the pocket. He could extend a play. Creativity in his wheels. He lost his mobility. Okay? Well, ask yourself this. If Aaron Rodgers has lost his mobility and has made him more of a liability in the outside and in the outskirts, a Hall of Fame player loses his mobility, right? A player like Aaron Rodgers loses his mobility. There's more turnovers in the pocket for him, correct? Well, why wouldn't that be the same case for Jalen if he's not throwing outside the pocket or getting outside the pocket with his wheels and creating more opportunities to extend plays? You doing the same thing, but Rodgers' case is he's 41. He's 41 years old. That's why he is more likely to throw a turnover now sitting in the pocket. That's right. Same as Russell Wilson. They lost that ability to get out in the perimeter, extend plays, create passing lanes. And when you're sitting back in the pocket, those guys also become limited. Why wouldn't Hurts? You think Hurts is any different than Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers? No. Common sense. Gee, why is Rodgers turning the ball over more in Pittsburgh? Because he doesn't roll as much. Because he can't. He's limited. He can't extend plays. Same with Russell Wilson. That's why Jackson Dart gives him a better chance. Because why? He's younger and can extend plays. Is he the passer that Russell Wilson is? No. It can't be that difficult. Sills, when's the last time you heard that Jalen was first one in and last one out? He doesn't work on his craft anymore. He's cool with being middling. I don't know. I'm not in the building for that one pump. So I'm not in the building. I don't know. I'm not in the building for that. And I actually haven't asked that question. Okay? Let's go to Prince here. That's not bad. The reason I can't stand some of you guys is that you're all acting like Jalen's getting the best coaching. He's not. I agree with that. And he's sucky. Our coaching staff sucks too. They both suck. Listen, I'm not telling you that Jalen Hurts is getting good coaching. Prince, when's the last time they hired a guy to fill that matched his skill set. This goes to Brady's comments. Okay? This goes to Brady's comments. What are they teaching him? No, I'm not. I didn't say that. I'm not in the building. Hey, that's something Pump is thinking. He's got a right to think that. I don't subscribe to that. I'm not in the building. I haven't asked that question to anybody in the building. And I don't know that for a fact, that he's not the first guy in and the last one out. I find that hard to believe that he's not that guy. Okay? Because you have a disagreement with your coaching philosophy and how those guys are approaching, that doesn't necessarily mean he's fighting the coaching staff, like leaving early and getting the hell out of there like a Kyler Murray or somebody like that. I don't believe that. Coaching staff is good, Prince. Jalen just can't execute it. That's pretty simple, the facts. Limited quarterback, our OCs know, and opposing defenses know. That's why they play more zone versus Hurts. Hey, I'm not going to disagree. Let me tell you, I want you to know this, and so you understand this. Your team is so talented. To be 8-2 with that shitty offense is remarkable. It's a testament to the talent. So let me ask you this. If you're Howie Roseman and you're sitting at 8-2, come on, M. Reyes, post it. You think he's happy, Howie? With the guys he's drafted, the people he's traded for? No, he stopped coming on the show because we stopped paying him. And he'd stop going on WIP if they stopped paying him too. Don't kid yourself, kid. You want to make an asshole comment? I'll come up behind the onion. Seth only does things for money. So you want to go there? I'll go there. I think the biggest problem is lack of reps in practice. Okay? Sills, doesn't the RPO work when the run game is a threat and the quarterback's a threat in the run game? And Barkley. Dude, Jalen Hurts had a horrible passing year a year ago. But you know what he did do? He was part of the run game. Sills, do you think one day that you might see Nick differently for building this elementary offense for a limited quarterback to succeed in? If they win multiple Super Bowls, yeah. The only way that Nick Sirianni is going to get truly more credit, he wins a Super Bowl. Another one, he'll go like this. I've been to 3. I've won 2. And I did it with an elementary quarterback in an elementary system.